Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the reality of India's auto sector. If you're thinking about buying a new car or just hoping to keep your old one running, you're probably feeling the pressure from all sides right now. Let's break down exactly what's happening.
So, here's the million-dollar question. Is your next car going to be petrol or electric? You might be leaning towards CNG, but honestly, that comes with its own headaches. Compromised boot space, lower mileage, and let's face it, a real risk of fire in case of an accident. Today, we're looking at the hard data and the new rules to show you why moving away from internal combustion engines isn't just about saving the environment anymore, it's about saving your wallet.
Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the end of old cars. Second, the hidden costs of E20 fuel. Third, we'll talk about why hydrogen is kind of a flop right now. Fourth, the cheap battery revolution. And finally, India's electric future.
All right, part 1, the end of old cars and how we're navigating these strict new end-of-life vehicle rules.
If you live in Delhi NCR, the restrictions are incredibly strict. You've got a 10-year limit for diesel and a 15-year limit for petrol. And here's the kicker. That ban applies even if your car is perfectly maintained and has a valid PUC certificate. Plus, the government is actually planning to mix butane into diesel soon, which is only going to cause more problems for those older diesel engines. For the rest of India, the limit is 15 to 20 years based on fitness tests, but make no mistake, the walls are closing in everywhere.
And enforcement is getting seriously high-tech. They're installing automated number plate recognition cameras right at the fuel pumps. If your car is flagged as overage, you are literally denied fuel. There are even cases of older BS3 cars being impounded straight from people's homes. If that happens, you've got a super strict 180-day window to deposit your car at a registered scrapping facility. You really don't have a choice anymore.
Moving on to part 2, the hidden cost of E20 fuel and the financial drain happening right inside your fuel tank.
So the government is pushing hard for ethanol blending. But here is the reality of E20 fuel. Ethanol packs about 35% less energy per liter compared to regular petrol. What does that mean for you? It translates directly to a 5 to 6% loss in mileage, making the fuel way less efficient. Plus, 90% of the cars currently on the road aren't even E20 compatible, meaning this new blend can actually cause corrosion in your fuel tank and seriously damage older engine parts.
To put that into perspective, Indian consumers are collectively going to pay an extra 10,000 crore rupees every single year. That's a massive hidden bill we're all footing just to make up for the mileage lost to these new ethanol blends.
Let's shift gears to part 3, the hydrogen flop, and why hydrogen tech absolutely won't be the savior of the internal combustion engine.
You hear a lot of hype about hydrogen, right? Well, Dr. David Decca from Heriot-Watt University hit the nail on the head. He points out that distributing hydrogen is incredibly expensive. Look, Japan holds a lot of this technology, but it's just not ready for the mass market yet. It's going to take at least another 5 to 10 years just to build out the supply chains and production units needed to make hydrogen cars a viable option for everyday folks.
And the financial losses so far are staggering. Europe and China have lost roughly $50 billion investing in hydrogen technologies that just couldn't scale. Meanwhile, hydrogen fuel prices have skyrocketed by 7 times over the last few years. Contrast that with electric vehicles, where China has already built the massive scale required to dominate the mass market right now. Hydrogen just can't compete. Which brings us perfectly to part 4, the cheap battery revolution. Let's look at the physics and economics of modern batteries.
Research is showing that the industry is no longer relying on super expensive materials. Today, a modern EV battery has a life of around 3,000 charge cycles. That's huge. And with the introduction of solid-state batteries, the charge density per kilogram is on the rise, meaning we're getting lighter cars that can go much further on a single charge.
Just look at these numbers. Over the last 24 months, battery storage costs have plummeted by 60%. And looking ahead, cheaper sodium-ion and lithium batteries are going to make EVs incredibly affordable. It's a complete game changer. While running a petrol or diesel car is only getting more expensive, EV tech is moving in the exact opposite direction.
Finally, part 5, India's electric future, backed by the government and booming sales. The shift is already happening right in front of us. In just the first half of 2024, EV sales in India jumped by 16%. Consumers are waking up to the fact that EVs are simply more efficient and powerful. Plus, they drastically reduce greenhouse gases. And on a national level, switching to EVs actually eliminates our country's heavy dependency on external energy needs, something petrol and diesel engines could never do.
The government is throwing its full weight behind this transition too. We're talking massive incentives through the FAME scheme and PLI initiatives for the auto sector. They've slashed the GST on EVs and chargers down to just 5%. And moving forward, fast-charging tech is going to become significantly more popular and much cheaper, completely wiping out any lingering range anxiety.
So, what does this all mean for you? The writing is pretty much on the wall. The rules are changing. Old internal combustion cars are being heavily squeezed out, and EV technology is getting better and cheaper every single day. The shift isn't just coming, it's already here. The only question left is, are you ready for it?